I'm going again.
His biggest strength is his greatest weakness. He's always climbing.
There's something that every climber should have before they enter the gym, and that something is what we call
money, chains, women, Jordans, a blunt.
a god-darn plan. With a good plan and good execution, over time you will reach your goal. But first off, what is a goal? When it comes to the context of climbing, a goal should be something that is achievable, realistic, depending on who you are. Now, obviously, I don't know who you are, nor your current state of status, but I'll just go ahead and divulge mine because I know mine pretty well. Currently, I climb V10. I need a goal that can facilitate the stimulus that I require in order to feel good and not feel bored, but feel challenged while making improvements. For me, we're gonna call that goal smashing out all the classics on the TB2 at 40 degrees V7. V7 on the TB2 has this very special formula to it. That special formula we call, there's 37 of them. Due to them being 37, it's not such a large amount that's impossible to attain, and it's not such a small amount that I'm able to do it so fast and so quickly. But due to the amount of 37, it gives it a nice large variety of hold types and body movement types for me to go ahead and introduce myself into. Additionally, because there's 37, a lot of these climbs, some of them will be easy, some of them will be just right, and a scant few will be so freaking hard that it's definitely not a V7. But before we can get into that, we need to do this thing known as warming up. When you're warming up, it's not just about getting your body physically warmed up. For me, when I'm climbing on these very easy climbs, I'm trying to do maximum amount of technique. Even though I could basically campus all these climbs, that's not the point. Each time I'm doing these easy climbs with these wombo jugs and delicious footholds that are too goddamn big, I'm trying to position my body in a way that will maximize the amount of strength that I do not need in order to reach the top. It's not necessarily about keeping the arms straight. It's not necessarily about pulling really hard. It's about getting my body into a position where it feels the most comfortable and the best, strongest in order to move on to the next hold. Now, that may not always be the case for X, Y, Z and climbs, but for most climbs, that is the way to do it. When it comes to these climbs, especially on the new set, there's a little game I like to play. This game is what we call flash. To flash a climb means to do it on your very first time. That little bit of stress placed on top of the head is a good way for me to practice climbing while under a little bit of stress, because when I send my hardest projects, it is always done under stress, 99 times out of 100. Hardly am I ever just going there happy-go-lucky. I always have a little bit of stress with me, and therefore by practicing the execution of flashing every single climb, I get that little bit of stress placed on my body. When I'm warming up, there comes a finite, or my bad, a particular time where I know that I'm fully ready. That time typically happens after I've fallen off a climb a few times. Once I've fallen off the climb a few times, I could go ahead and tell myself, hey, you're already warmed up. I know, because you're trying hard and you've fallen off a few times. Go ahead and enter that goal of yours for the climbing session, which is to do the TB2 classics. Or inside my head, because I'm a little bit stubborn, I like to initiate this activity called send the goddamn thing, because to me, sending is very important. The ability to get to the top of a climb at will, instead of at, whenever feels good, lets me know that I have the ability to control my technicality and prowess in execution wherever I want. I find this to be important because when you're out in the real world, like, on like a bouldering trip or something, you only have a finite amount of days to send X, Y, and Z. And when I'm in those situations, I would like to be able to send X, Y, and Z, therefore I feel good. Because to me, climbing feels the best when you're able to send whatever it is that you want to send. So on this purple scopidation, man, I've fallen quite a few times, and that's all right. But I eventually worked it out. Now, typically, I like to tell everyone, hey, if you got the bottom part of a climb worked out, go ahead and work out the top. But in the case of this one, where the top move is literally just a thing of commitment, I decided to go from the ground up. And once I get to that pivotal moment of hesitation, I simply shut off the hesitation and I replace it with anticipation for success. And then luckily this time it did work out, but I rest assure you, if it didn't, I would have tried again. Now that I'm all warmed up, I now enter the TB2 classic. My bad, the TB2 phase of my training, where the goal is. This is the bread and butter. This is how I know I'm getting better. The board climbing, not only is it good for your finger strength, but it's really good for body tension wise, where you have to be really active with the feet. Great thing about board climbing is these climbs, they never change. You change. For example, on this climb called Yonder County, there was no way that I could have done this move static. I tried to do it static, but today, to my darnest surprise, I did the move and I held it with my feet on, and I was like, holy buckets. This is the power called effort over time on the same climb. Now during this time, I definitely didn't get any particularly stronger, but I definitely have gotten better at this movement, at this hold, at this body position, at this problem. You could get stronger over time, but you can also get better at a particular skill over time. And the same thing is true for more than just one of these climbs. I believe this one climb right here, I forgot what it's called. God damn it, I freaking hate it. It rips my skin apart, but I'm getting closer to this grab right here. And originally I was trying this method where I kind of just kick up from the ground, which most people do. And I'm like, yeah, that's not really, I can't really do it. Think, Chang, think. And so I go ahead and I place my right foot up on this little good foothold. And instead of placing it at the side to the left, I place it on top. On top gives me a little bit more pushing down action. And in my head, I was like, this isn't really gonna work, but that's not the point. The point is nothing else has worked. So we're gonna try other things you don't think that work. If you're gonna keep getting beat up, at least get beat up differently. And then that way you might learn about the other possibilities. And therefore I go ahead and I activate the move and I get this like good registration on my left hand and I feel it in my body. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's cool. I've never had that sensation on this climb before. Because I only have approximately say 6 of these climbs left. It's very fun for me to just cycle after trying each of them like 3 or 4 times and just keep repeating that until I'm completely done with my session or I'm completely too weak or too burnt out. And that way I'm able to try really hard moves that I'm stuck on for like each 6 of these climbs, but they're all slightly different and therefore no particular muscle gets overused. There comes a fun thing that I realized. Some days my crimping power is awesome, but my pulling is garbage. Other days my pinchination, oh man, can I pinch? But my crimp, garbage. Other days I feel really light and I'm able to just yard on jugs all day long, but my crimps are shit. And all these climbs, because of the slight nuances, the slight hold variety, and I got like 6 of them left to do, gives me that ability to improve on one climb one day, but feel garbage on the other one day. But I now enter a rehabbing phase because like most people in life, I'm not exactly 100% at health at the moment because my wrist at the moment is a little bit fucked. Therefore, I go ahead and I do some wrist curls, a little bit abduction with the dumbbell, just enough to make my wrist feel a little bit of pain from a scale 1 through 10. We're talking about like maybe a 3 or 4 here. I want to make sure there's just a little bit of pain so that I know I'm stressing it, but I also want to make sure it's not so much that I can't do the activity. My left wrist, which is the good one, anytime I do these exercises, my left one just completely is dominating because it's not injured, but my right is slowly healing over time. That right there, to sum it all up, I went to the gym with a goal. I warmed up in a way that prepares me to climb good for the rest of my life. And then I go ahead and I tackle the goal that I want to tackle. And it's a goal that will be there for a very long time at a level that makes me happy and gives me good accomplishment levels. Well, let me know that yes, I am getting better because I'm doing something that I couldn't do like a couple weeks ago, but I'm doing that shit today. And then I finish off with a little bit of rehabbing for the wrist. Of course, I do some stretching and I do some active recovery at home, give or take. But hey, thanks for watching. And if you enjoy videos like this and want to become a better climber, I more or less drop videos like this every single day. If you like, comment, subscribe, it does help me help you become a better climber. And now you know.